Dear God, I just did one of these a couple weeks ago, and Hasbro's like, oh yeah? You want to talk about our stuff? How about we melt your face off with a blistering number of reveals? How'd you like that, nerd? I'm trying to hit 10K subscribers by the channel's second birthday on August 8th. If you enjoyed this video by the end, please consider subscribing, and please do all that stuff that everyone says helps out every video, like liking and sharing it with friends. So, the last couple weeks have been insane, with Hasbro revealing something just about every day, or something else getting leaked. Let's get into this before this video is an hour long. I'm pretty sure they showed this off the day of my previous Looking Forward video, because I'm cursed, but the rumored Cybertron Metroplex is now more than a rumor. Characters like this should really go through a rebrand and get their own name, because not only is this nothing like Metroplex, but the name doesn't even make 1% of sense for the character. There is nothing Subway or Metro about this design, and a super excavator is not any kind of plex. The name exists solely to defend a copyright, and it shows. I'm glad fans of Transformers Cybertron are getting some love, but much like with the ER Scorponok, I'm not going to be picking this up. I could not care less about the character. The design gouges my eyes as much as the Scorponok did. I have a limited amount of space, and I'm already running out of it again. This is expensive for something I don't like the look of. The alt mode is a complete catastrophe, just being a blatantly balled-up robot with his weapon on his back, and you may say that's exactly what he should be, and you'd be right about that, but that doesn't make me enjoy looking at it anymore. The smaller robot mode should be called Captain Screwhole. Was this something this guy actually did in the show? Because I've never seen this before, and it looks like a complete afterthought. I mean, the alt mode looked like that as well, it just feels like this was something that wasn't intended. Guarantee you his robot mode face is just chilling out on the back of his head undisguised. I do like that they included an opening mouth. More figures at this scale should have something like this. I almost wonder if this is going to have lights and sounds. And is this thing not coming with an extra little figure like every other Titan? Seems like they are giving him his weapon instead of a cool little buddy to pal around with. There's just nothing here for someone like me who didn't watch the show. Then there's a Robson auto-transforming trailer to go along with the auto-transforming Prime. And this is just the exact same thing for me as with the main Robson figure. This just does nothing for me. I kind of don't get it, honestly. Like, why is this the coolest thing absolutely everyone ever has seen? Every non-Transformers fan I know has told me about the self-transforming Optimus. And it's getting to the point where I'm just starting to wonder if there's something wrong with me, because I just don't care. At all. Like, even 1%. Someone could offer me one for free and I'd be like, take up a lot of space. Like, is the child inside me just dead? What's going on here? Why is everyone else enjoying this cultural zeitgeist but me? It's not like I'm offended by it or anything. It just doesn't interest me. I suppose that if you liked that Optimus Prime, this is another $800 you can spend on making it slightly better. Wasn't the original figure like $600? The sad part is, you just know someone missed the boat on the robot itself, and they're going to buy this trailer, hoping that it can kind of fill the void not having the main bot left in them. Then they revealed a toy color Cyclonus, and I just have to ask, was anyone really waiting on this version? Toy Color's Galvatron was at least vastly different looking. This is the same guy with slightly more gray. And stickers. Joy. I guess he comes with a blast effect and a target master who no one bought during Siege. Those were a complete failure. Credit where it's due though, that metallic blue is pure sex. Then to answer about 1,000,000 of your questions, yes, I know about the LEGO Optimus Prime. It looks fine. Look, I'm getting the distinct impression that this is actually going to be a really boring video, because what has happened is announcement after announcement that I just don't care about. People love Legos, and in my opinion, they are okay. I think I've made 3 Lego sets in my entire life, and then we had a bucket of random assorted Legos that you just used to make whatever you wanted with them as a real little kid. But Legos haven't been part of my life in probably close to 20 years. And I'm gonna be honest, I hate building models. I find myself incredibly bored by the process. And every time I've done it, I've found it's like erasing 2 to 5 hours from my life. My brain just kind of turns off and comes back on when I'm done. Would have had the same experience by going to sleep, but then at least I'd be waking up feeling rested. If you like it, I can get why. I still managed to find Minecraft fun despite my aversion to real models, but the actual thing is just not my thing. I can say that this looks impressive for LEGO. I know they do tend to do amazing work, it's just an actual transforming figure made out of blocks seems like a tall order. That they achieved. Though I don't think his knees bend at all. And man, that has got to be the worst Matrix I think I've ever seen. The face could use some work. If you're excited for this, don't let me rob you of that. I don't know why I'm a broken person who has no joy in their heart, I just am. Let's keep up this trend with me not caring about stuff by moving over to Movie Sideways, who I legitimately don't understand. Why would anyone care about this? This is a figure of a character who had no lines. You never saw their robot mode in the film outside of a momentary streak across the camera lens as they busted through a wall, and then they die within like 5 seconds of being introduced. This is no one. It is nothing. The alt mode looks like compromised ass, with giant panel lines everywhere. And seriously guys, this is the official product photography? Someone is supposed to want this because of this picture. It looks like shit! The paint job is flat out badly applied and it looks damaged, like this was dropped several dozen times before they took the product shots of it. And clear plastic hinges. Several of them. Oh, wonderful! Why are the front rails pegged and the rear ones pinned? I am legitimately stunned that they were comfortable showing these off to people. This is not the photographer's fault this time. This looks like literal garbage. Like they mixed up the rejects please throw away pile with the give to the photographer pile. And then we got the robot mode, and my only reaction is, well, I guess that's what he looked like because we never saw it in the movie. Then let's jump over to 86. I'm about as confused as I could be with this one. What this seems to be is an altered version of the Generations RC from 2014 with the Takara color scheme mixed with the design aesthetic of the Earthrise RC with increased posability and a vastly expanded backpack to turn her from a partial shell former into a complete one so the alt mode can be perfect. And let's be clear here, this is one of the best RC alt modes they have ever made. This looks good. I'm complimenting something in this video. Incredible. I mean, the backpack is looking to be a bit of a beast. It is quite something. And not every joint on this looks all that good. But this will probably be the most posable of the Chug RCs, and it looks better than the Ursi in both modes, and a bit worse than the Gen C because of the backpack and robot mode, but the alt mode is an upgrade, even if I think the original figure looked good enough in that form. Time will tell if this is any kind of true upgrade or just a side grade on the original figure, but there is essentially a 100% guarantee that this will be better than the Ursi in every way. I don't dislike what I'm seeing, but it's weird. Then we've got something that came out of absolute left field for me. Masterpiece Trailbreaker. And it looks good. Is Masterpiece going to stop sucking again? This having an opening engine and door is a little concerning to me, as one of the main faults with Masterpiece of late has been getting bogged down in bullshit no one cares about that only gets in the way of other aspects of the figure. But this doesn't look like it's faux forming, it doesn't look like it's parts forming. The transformation seems like it might actually be simple, the robot mode looks perfect and seems very posable. I think this might actually be good. Now all they need to do is not charge $200 for it. And it's actually $150. Branded deal and everything. Hasbro, Takara, did you not done goof? I would be very happy to see you not done goofed again. I'm rooting for you here. Do a good job, guys. This looks promising. Now let's talk about how I owe Ryan Mason an apology for not believing that someone would make a depth charge out of Cyclonus. You absolute fucking prophet. Not even 2 weeks later, it happens. I mean, it's not the Kingdom Cyclonus, but New Age is turning their Legend Scale Cyclonus into a depth charge by simply flipping the alt mode backwards. And it looks amazing. Yes, the chest isn't becoming the torso of the Manta Ray, and I was sure that was going to be required of all his figures, but this still works out. Honestly, I kind of might not even want this to turn into his beast mode. If this can turn into the regular Cyclonus fighter ship still, that might be my preferred way to display this guy. I could have it be his Cybertronian form from before he chose a beast mode. Huh, funny thought. They never did explain why he specifically chose a beast mode, as he wasn't a protoform before landing on the planet, and the radiation levels had decreased by the time he arrived, so he didn't need a beast mode to survive. I think the writers might have just forgot quite why the beast modes were a thing, or that the people on Cybertron didn't have beast modes. Anyways, this looks so appropriate for the character, and New Age's fondness for metallic paints really helps him look like he got the Transmetal skin from the show. So count me stoked for this, even if I wish it wasn't going to be small. Remember people, this is third-party Legend scale, so it's probably about the size of Kingdom Scorponok, Waspinator, or Warpath for those of you who don't buy the beasts. Lastly, let's talk about the Wreckers collection. Man, I can't believe Hasbro managed to do this. I can't believe Hasbro released a whole set where the only things I'm excited for are fossilizer retools. Question of the video, do you have any plans to pick up any of these figures, and if so, which ones? Twin Twist, a flat repaint of a Titan's Return figure that was only okay. Look, I may be a little biased against this mold because the last time I handled a version of it was from this set, where the quality of it felt like it had been made out of melted down drinking straws, but I don't want this even a little. Kind of looks like a pre-Optimus Prime Orion Pax. Then you got Bulkhead, who's disappointing? Well, the rumors that this was going to be an animated Bulkhead retool have been completely and remorselessly crushed by this. Instead, it's the same Bulkhead we just got a couple weeks ago, with a really ugly paint job that's soaking up the budget from his better details, and a hammer. Yay. I'm sure this tickles like one person's fancy. Then you got Leadfoot, who's a minor retool of the Kingdom Mirage, a figure that was so heavily retooled from the Siege Mirage, it's one of those instances where it's almost more its own figure. This is actually working on me pretty good. The paint looks great, you know me, I'm a sucker for metallic colors. The only issue I have here is that the Kingdom version is in every way inferior to the original mold, with the worst transformation, worse tolerances, worse ability to hold together in alt mode, and worse accessory integration, so at the very least, this is going to be handicapped by its mold, even if it does look cool. Mastodominus. What a name that is. So, are they just doing the Power Rangers because they wanna? This is a retool of Ractonite, the by far worst fossilizer, but this is bringing some pizzazz that the other one lacked with the gold and black color scheme. And the robot mode has a cooler head that makes more visual sense, and at least one thing approaching a real hand. Though I have no fucking clue what's going on over here. It seems like the designer just forgot what they were doing and left. This is just parts they had left over and stuck together and just didn't even care. Then we got Unfinished Springer. Sorry, I meant Toy Color Springer. No, wait, I meant Unfinished Springer. This looks wretched. It looks so bad. This looks like it's directly out of one of those early G1 comics where they just gave zero shits while making it, and all the characters were monocolored. It's so plain, it's like a prototype. It doesn't help that Siege Springer was one of the worst figures of the whole line, with terrible tolerances, weak ankles, knees that will untransform rather than bend every time, unimpressive posing by the standard of its contemporaries, a bad transformation with parts that love to pop off, that is fiddly and frustrating and always pinches your hands while you do it, and alt modes that just don't care about holding together. And this is that with basically no paint. So this is a worse version of that figure. Who's going to be excited for this? The best feature of the original figure was the way it looked, and now that's gone. Then there's Spindle, a retool of Paleotrix, with the most comically large buck teeth ever crafted. I can't be the only person who sees this, right? It also looks like they're wearing a basket on their head. Robot mode looks silly to me, but the Spinosaurus mode looks sick as hell, and you know me, I'm kind of down for more fossilizers. Never thought we'd be getting more, and these may just be retools, but that's better than nothing. Now we get on to the last thing. Something I'm sure many of you have been waiting for with bated breath. Impactor. Oh my god, he's so fucking ugly it hurts. He looks like an all-too-realistic Squidward crammed into a suit made out of cardboard shoeboxes. Why do they want to make him look like the Marvel Comics so fucking bad? We did the first ugly fucking face he had, now we have to do the other ugly fucking face. All of the Impactor hideous faces must be made, and they all deserve their own figures every time! Why is he so haunting? He looks like an animated corpse. I don't want to buy Spindle now because I don't want to wind up with this soul-sucking terror to curse my home. Is this seriously in the 2-pack because they knew that no one would buy it if it was sold on its own? So a lot of announcements this time, not a lot of it that really interests me personally, but despite me not caring, some of it is still really quality stuff, like the Lego figure and the Robson trailer. There are a few things that I'm actually looking forward to, like the RC Depth Charge and Trailbreaker, but then there's stuff that just looks like trash no matter how you slice it. Like how much of the Wrecker set is getting sold on the name value of the Wreckers alone? That Springer is just not worth the money, and the less said about Squidpactor, Impactword, the better. I hope next time I can be a little more enthusiastic throughout, but Hasbro's been doing good recently, so they had to show off something that I didn't like eventually. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.